What if the end of the dinosaurs wasn't the end of terror on Earth? Imagine a frozen world where giant beasts ruled with teeth and claws sharper than any blade. Quick flashes, saber-toothed cats leaping at prey, dire wolves circling in packs, mammoths thundering across icy plains. This was the Ice Age, a time when survival meant constant battle against nature's deadliest hunters. And as humans first stepped into this frozen arena, they weren't the masters, we were the hunted. After the dinosaurs vanished, a new era of killers began. And their story is more terrifying than you think. The Ice Age was a world locked in frost, endless glaciers, frozen winds, and vast plains where survival was a daily struggle. Temperatures plummeted, shaping landscapes into icy kingdoms ruled by predators unlike any we know today. Early humans stepped into this harsh environment, not as conquerors, but as vulnerable prey. Every hunt for food was a gamble, every fire a fragile shield against the cold and the monsters lurking beyond the shadows. In this frozen battleground, only the strongest could endure. Today, we uncover the deadliest beasts of the Ice Age, the killers that hunted, ruled, and defined a frozen world. Among the most feared predators of the Ice Age stood the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon. With its muscular frame, powerful shoulders, and dagger-like fangs stretching up to 7 inches long, it was built for ambush, not speed. Unlike modern lions or tigers that chase down prey, Smilodon stalks silently, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Then, with explosive strength, it would wrestle victims to the ground and deliver a killing bite with those iconic sabers. But these fearsome cats weren't just hunting mammoths, bison, and giant sloths. They were also a deadly threat to the earliest humans. Imagine small bands of hunters venturing into the wild, unaware that in the tall grass, golden eyes watched every move. One wrong step could mean being dragged away in seconds, never to return. To Ice Age humans, Smilodon was not just another animal. It was a nightmare brought to life. Its very presence shaped human survival strategies, forcing people to travel in groups, develop weapons, and build fires to keep predators at bay. The saber-toothed cat was more than a beast. It was nature's reminder that the Ice Age was not humanity's world yet. It belonged to the killers with fangs like swords. Next came the dire wolves, larger, heavier, and more powerful than the wolves we know today. These Ice Age hunters weren't lone stalkers. They thrived on teamwork. Moving in coordinated packs, dire wolves could bring down prey far larger than themselves, bison, horses, even young mammoths. Their strength wasn't just in size, but in numbers and strategy. Imagine a cold night on the plains. Humans huddled near a fire, while glowing eyes circled just beyond the light. A single howl signaled the hunt, and suddenly dozens of dire wolves rushed in, overwhelming anything that stood in their path. They weren't just killers. They were ecosystem shapers. By hunting relentlessly, they kept herbivore populations in check, balancing the fragile Ice Age food chain. But for early humans, dire wolves meant constant danger. To survive, people had to outthink the pack, because against the dire wolf, strength alone was never enough. Not all Ice Age giants were predators. Some were colossal herbivores that shaped the frozen world. Towering above the tundra, the woolly mammoth was a true titan, with massive curved tusks stretching up to 15 feet. Herds of mammoths thundered across the icy plains, their sheer size protecting them from most hunters. Yet even these giants weren't untouchable. Packs of dire wolves and saber-toothed cats often targeted the young, sick, or isolated. Then came the giant ground sloth, a creature as tall as a house and armed with enormous claws. Slow but powerful, it could rip apart any predator foolish enough to attack. To humans, these giants were both a blessing and a curse. Mammoths provided meat, bones, and fur for survival, but hunting one was deadly. The giant sloth, meanwhile, was too dangerous to challenge. In the Ice Age, humans learned to respect the giants that ruled the frozen land. For early humans, the Ice Age was more than a battle against the cold. It was a constant war for survival against predators. Every journey beyond the campfire meant stepping into a land ruled by fangs and claws. But humans had something unique: intelligence. With sharpened stone tools, wooden spears, and the power of fire, They turned weakness into strength. Fire not only gave warmth, but it kept prowling predators at bay, its glow a shield against the night. Ancient encounters must have been terrifying. Imagine hunters tracking a mammoth, only to find themselves stalked by saber-toothed cats. Or families hearing the howls of dire wolves closing in on their shelter. Survival depended on unity, staying in groups, watching the shadows, and striking together when danger came. These struggles forged resilience. In the clash between man and beast, humans didn't just endure. They adapted, writing the first chapters of survival against impossible odds. But what became of these legendary beasts? As the Ice Age drew to an end, the world began to change. Glaciers melted, forests spread, and the icy plains that once fed mammoths and sloths began to vanish. At the same time, humans grew stronger, smarter weapons, larger groups, and relentless hunting pushed many species to the brink. Was it the warming climate that doomed them, or the rise of mankind? Most likely it was both. In just a few thousand years, the giants and predators that once ruled the frozen earth were gone, leaving behind only bones and unanswered mysteries. The Ice Age was not just an era of ice and snow. It was a battlefield where humans fought daily against monsters of unimaginable power. From saber-toothed cats to dire wolves and mammoths, survival meant courage, intelligence, and unity. These beasts shaped the destiny of mankind, testing our will to endure. But this is only the beginning. In our next episode, we'll uncover another deadly predator that stalked the ancient world, a creature even more terrifying than you can imagine. Don't miss it. Subscribe now and join us on Ancient Beast Files, where the past's darkest secrets come back to life.